Get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parm delivered. A little escape? No. A delicious bowl of grapes? Yes, that. An afternoon stroll? Sorry, no. A burrito bowl? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Toyota's all in all season with another year of Toyota Game Day giveaways. The official automotive partner of the NFL is giving fans the chance to win epic prizes like Brock Purdy's favorite Toyota Sequoia, NFL shop gear, and more. Play for free by predicting which big plays will happen during the second half of every Sunday night football game. This is going to be fun. Visit toyota.com/NFL now to learn more. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends on 2/8/26. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and over. For complete details, how to enter prizes, and official rules, visit toyotasgamedaygiveaways.com.
Whether you're kicking off a campaign, gearing up for an event, or suiting up your team, 4imprint has the promo products to move your brand down the field. With thousands of customizable options like premium apparel, drinkware, tech totes, and giveaways, it's easy to score fan favorites that deliver impact. You'll get expert support, speedy delivery, and their 360-degree guarantee, so you can be 4imprint certain your order arrives exactly right on time. Explore more at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
It's time to set your lineup with the Dream Team. Here's Jim Szoke and John Halpin.
All right. Last week we were excited looking into the Panthers-Buffalo game and the possibilities for the Panthers. And John, we just took all the drama out of it early in the first half. And the Panthers, when they lose, they kind of go all in at times, unfortunately. But they always count just the same, one loss. And I think we'd all take 4-4 as a record at the halfway point of what is sort of the halfway point of the regular season, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's just, it's okay. It's not great, but, there were some predictions earlier in the season that they were not, that maybe it wasn't going to get there. So we'll take it.
As for this week, it gets no easier going to Lambeau Field and Green Bay. And man, they are hitting on all cylinders right now. They've got the return of Christian Watson. Tight end Tucker Kraft is coming off a huge game last week, has been a stud all season in fantasy football. Just kind of a well-balanced offense overall. Where do you want to start with what Green Bay presents for the fantasy football world?
Well, it's funny. Don't you feel like they're 5-1-1, and don't you feel like people are a little underwhelmed with them? When they got Parsons, it was like, oh boy, here we go. And then they lost to the Browns.
I was just saying, I think
the Cowboys.
It's the one loss to the Browns. Yeah. And then at that time, a tie to Dallas seemed like a game they should win. So I guess when the expectations are that high, people were quick to kind of let go after those back-to-back weeks with those two games.
Right. I agree. And I think they're going to run. I put in right when the Parsons trade happened, I snuck in quick, bet a Super Bowl bet for them. So let's see how that turns out, because I think they're still really good. Well, now, where would I like to start? Tucker Kraft. He is fantasy tight end 1 for the season. The guy is just, he's killing it. And he's doing it because he's so athletic. He's so he's not Jake Ferguson, who kind of catches the ball and falls down, right? He's averaging 15.6 yards per catch. For context, Rob Gronkowski was 15.0 for his career. 15.6 for a tight end is insane. Because you watch the touchdown Tucker Kraft gets, you watch him, it's like, oh, he caught the ball to 30 and then outran everybody to the end zone. He's really, really good. And next year, when we talk about, hey, who's going to be the top tight ends in the draft? Well, this year was Bowers and McBride. And next year, Tucker Kraft's going to be in that group. The dude is awesome. This is no fluke. He is the best offensive player on the Packers. Yeah,
I've got him in one of my 3 leagues. I don't know how this happened. People are just asleep at the wheel because he already played last week. I picked up Christian Watson in 2 of my leagues. Will he be a number 1, or is it going to be a split with Romeo Doubs? What do you think?
I don't like their I don't like depending on their wide receivers because it's spread too thin. And just wait till Wicks and Reed and there's just like a lot of number 2s there. And Watson is one of those guys. I mean, last week Doubs got 6 targets, Watson got 4, Matthew Golden got 3. They kind of spread the ball around. Kraft is the number 1 receiver. and the wide receivers are kind of supporting players. So Christian Watson, I'm kind of like, yeah, in a bye week, maybe, kind of, but I'm not excited.
Jordan Love, 3-touchdown game. He's not really had big stats, though, this year prior to this past week, right? As far as just, putting big fantasy numbers up.
No, not huge. And last year is funny. Last year he ran more. This year, not so much. But you're right. Before this past week, he had a big game against the Cowboys, shocker, in week 4. But otherwise, he's kind of been okay. They like to run the ball. I mean, most games he throws for, he throws 30 times or less. And, the yardage is not big. They're a good team, so they're ahead. So they run Jacobs. And he doesn't throw a ton. I mean, last week they kind of got in a shootout with the Steelers unexpectedly. Maybe not unexpectedly anymore because the Steelers defense is living up reputation and they're not that good. But yeah, Love is kind of he's one of those guys you plug in a bye week and he's probably going to be just okay for you. Last week was a fluke.
As we record on Thursday morning, Bryce Young seems to be trending in a very positive direction to playing. I don't hear any concerns from Coach Canales. So obviously barring a setback, which it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Bryce Young at quarterback, that sounds like that's good for the offense overall, which means the skill position guys too.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, last week there was a bit of a narrative from some people that Andy Dalton would make Tedero McMillan better, and he did throw to him a ton. But I think you saw last week that, Andy Dalton, he struggled a little bit. I mean, you think getting Bryce Young back we're pretty clear is a good thing. I agree with you. As far as the skill position players, I don't know how this works out this week. I think, again, Tedero McMillan, I know I keep saying I'm waiting for the breakout, but it's not just a breakout. The guy's getting thrown to all the time. He's up to fantasy wide receiver 20. And I think he benefits from getting Bryce Young back. And the other skill players, the better the offense, the better the running backs.
And based on just the conversation, the way he's kind of couched it, Coach Canales this week, it looks like obviously still a job share at running back, but now there'll be a slant to it with Rico Dowdle seeing more of the carries. We can't, speculate on what that percentage would be, but it looks like this, alternating series idea that they've moved off of that for now.
He was surprisingly candid about that on Monday, wasn't he? Most coaches don't. They get into coach speak and we're going to take the hot hand and we like both our guys. What did he say? That we can't deny that Rico has been exceptional, which is true. I mean, you run for 200 yards twice in a row. That's pretty exceptional. I think you're right. This is now a 1A and a 1B, probably a 2/3, 1/3 kind of share. This alternating series seems like it's out the window.
So Rico, put him out there, which you would have anyways, but Chuba, probably time to sit him in fantasy football based on that?
Definitely. And now I don't want to say he's a handcuff. He's probably got more of a role than that. And he still might get 10 touches a game in the right situations when they don't have to throw. And hopefully against the Packers, they're not getting, they're 13.5 point underdogs. Hopefully that kind of game doesn't come to pass. But yeah, you can't start Chuba Hubbard right now.
And we don't know too. And again, this is just speculation. Did Chuba rush back too soon? Like he's not maybe 100%. I mean, Rico's no doubt playing great football, but just to look at Chuba, he doesn't look that dynamic. And we know last year he was that player. So it could be a matter of give it more time. And Chuba may be every bit the player Rico is right now.
He might be. I'm wondering that too. We joked a couple of weeks ago that, Chuba came back after the second 200-yard game because he wasn't going to watch that anymore and step to the side. But I don't know. I wonder if he is healthy. I do still think that Dave Canales would love to run the ball a lot and is happy to have 2 competent running backs to do it.
All right,
Jim,
let's move on.
Can I give you one more Tedero McMillan stat since, he's my favorite player to talk about?
Yes.
So I saw the stat yesterday. 31 of his 37 receptions have gone for first downs. The next highest Panther is Hunter Renfrow with 8 receptions for first downs. So They are moving the ball down the field with Tedero McMillan when they throw it. He's so good, everybody. You are going to watch a really good career with this guy with the Panthers. I know the numbers aren't off the charts yet, but they're going to get there.
And by the way, Hunter Renfrow's been at 8 for a while because he's been a healthy scratch the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So that number's not moving. All right, bye weeks for the Eagles, the Bucks, and I think they're still in the NFL, the Jets and Browns. So those are your 4 teams that are not in the league. Jets did get their first win finally last week. Some healthy returns. So Lamar Jackson is back. We have a Thursday night game at Miami. Interesting. Lamar Jackson's back. Let's see how fully back he is for this one as far as running and all that goes. against a Miami team that's led by Tua Tagovailoa, who had 4 touchdown passes last week.
Yeah, and the Ravens defense has not been good. The over-under here is 51.5. So I think we've got a decent Thursday night football game to watch. As far as Lamar goes, I'm excited to see him back. I know a lot of fantasy managers are. I think the beneficiaries here, they're 7.5-point favorites. You would think that bodes well for a good Derrick Henry game, and Derrick Henry fantasy managers have struggled this year. The other one I think is Zay Flowers. He had that big game in week 1. He's kind of been, as the kids say, mid since. But last week, tons of targets again. I think he's going to start stepping it up and putting numbers back on the board.
You know what the kids are saying now, which is obnoxious and stupid, is 6-7.
It's everywhere. My son hates when we say it now because this is so done. Why are the old people?
We say it to make it go away.
Yes,
we say it to make it go away. Now it's not cool. We did it here on a podcast. That makes it extra not cool. So I have again personal question for me on this one. As they say in real football, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. I have 3 quarterbacks and don't have a quarterback because I have in one of my teams I'm talking about. Jaden Daniels in and out of health. Looks like he'll play, but again, McLaurin can't stay healthy. He's hurt already. So I've got that. I got Jaden Daniels. I've got Joe Flacco, who's been good for 2 weeks, and you kind of got me on the Joe Flacco train with Cincinnati. Do I play Tua? I picked him off waivers because I didn't know if Joe Flacco was even going to play. But regardless if Joe Flacco is going to play or not, should I play Tua or not for this Thursday game? Because I have to decide today.
I wouldn't. I think one of your guys is going to play Sunday. And it sounds like Daniels is going to play. So I would wait for that. I don't trust Tua enough with the way he's played. I know he put up numbers last week, but generally, no thanks.
Okay, so no Tua. He goes to number 2 on my depth chart. From Tua, we go to Puka. Puka Nacua, obviously, without him, Matt Stafford's been putting up some big numbers. But, man, what's that going to be like when he comes back? And looks likely that the top receiver's back for the Rams this week.
It looks like Matt Stafford's got a top receiver. Puka he was out for that London game, and then they had the bye week. Now it sounds like he's going to be healthy again. As far as Stafford goes, 17 touchdowns and 2 picks. The guy was he 37, 38? I don't even know, but He's been fantastic this year. And Puka, remember when we last saw him, 3 weeks ago, he was on pace for a record-setting season in receptions. So you're going to see a bunch more. He'll catch 8 or 9 passes this week.
Raiders get back Brock Bowers. I think Jacoby Myers as well this week. So maybe some stats, some points coming from the Vegas Raiders this week.
I don't know about how many points, but I do think Brock Bowers does pretty well. The over-under there is 44.5, and the Raiders are dogs. So the projected point total is okay. I don't know how much there is to go around. And Geno Smith's got to play better, but Brock Bowers hasn't been healthy since week 1. If you drafted him round 2, early round 3, it's been a struggle and you've been let down. Hopefully he's fully healthy and makes the Raiders offense, like you said, go a little better.
For Arizona, looks like Kyler Murray is back at quarterback, which is good news for Marvin Harrison. There's still all those injured running backs, unfortunately. But does Kyler Murray move the needle for people that got people with the Arizona offense on their roster?
He does. And because that's a Monday game, remember, we haven't had him practice fully yet. So let's make sure he practices on Thursday before we go too crazy. I picked him up in the league against the Cowboys. I'll start anybody. So he does move the needle this week for me.
I did something this week because I just had players out and injuries and bye weeks. I waived Nico Collins. He's had one good game this year. He's got a concussion. I know he's the number 1 receiver for Houston. It just has not been consistent. I was going to bench him anyways, but it's just been nothing good. And obviously concussion, not his fault. But I just gave up on Nico Collins.
Can you please consult me before you do things like this? You waive Nico Collins?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's what I picked up Christian Watson.
Oh, you're going to regret this.
He's had one game, John. It's like Thanksgiving. He's had one. Okay, it's Halloween. He's had one game of 100 yards. They're not scoring touchdowns.
They're not scoring touchdowns. You're right. And they're struggling, and he hasn't been, his production hasn't been good. Maybe it's more on the quarterback than him. Their offensive line's not very good. Waving Nico Collins, man. I hope this goes better for you than I think it's going to go.
We'll see how it goes. Hey, I didn't waive RJ Harvey last week when I asked you about that. He sat on my bench for no points, but I didn't waive him.
Great job by me telling you to waive RJ Harvey before the 3-touchdown game. Really great.
We can't win them all. That's why we have bold predictions coming up here in just a little while. Let's look at what's out there as possibilities on the waiver wire for people looking to get something on their roster if you've got a bye week at quarterback or injuries like this person did, myself, I'm speaking of, anybody else out there besides Tua that might be available as a quarterback out there to pick up?
Yeah, I don't love the quarterback pool this week, and you're probably only picking up if you have maybe Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield because the quarterback injuries look better. But JJ McCarthy, maybe. I mean, I don't love it, but he's at Detroit, who's given up. They've been a bit below average against opposing fantasy quarterbacks. I know they have a good pass rush and good defensive players and all that. McCarthy had in his 2 starts, he hasn't been great, but he had 25 rush yards in each start. We like to look for the rushing floor, and he appears to have one. Like I said, I don't love it, but if you're in a pinch, I might look that way.
Not going to go through all the position groups because I don't know half the guys you're mentioning here, but is there anybody else, a skill position guy, a flex guy, if you will, running back, receiver, tight end that might be out there on the waiver wire?
Yeah, we're going to give you Bam Knight running back for the Cardinals again against Dallas. Trey Benson's probably not back till week 10, so Bam Knight's the lead back for one more week. He's been running back 14, running back 24 in 2 starts. The other one, Troy Franklin on the Broncos. He's at Houston. He's owned in 46% of Yahoo leagues. We talked about him on the Sunday morning show, on the pregame show. You asked me for a last minute receiver. Troy Franklin wound up as wide receiver 1. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that
That's
call.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
That's why we do this show, John. That
yes.
right there.
Well, later his teammate burned us. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Troy Franklin. I think the thing is Houston's not a great matchup, but you think that Stingley will follow Sutton. So Franklin's matchup won't be as difficult. Not saying, hey, bonanza, because the over-under for that game is not too high. But Franklin he's 18 targets the last 2 games. He's kind of becoming the pretty clear number 2 receiver on that team.
Okay. Well, you got him. Jalen Noel is another guy that you kind of mentioned might be out there for those who need a receiver. So you're bullish on Denver.
I'm dead. Yeah, that one, Jalen Noel taking over the slot role pretty much. He's splitting it with Berrios for the Texans. So against the Broncos, I think he's going to be okay. He's owned in like 7% of the league. So PPR league type of guy. He's going to go 5 for 48 or something like that.
All right, so that's the Houston-Denver matchup where this week Nico Collins will go for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns if he plays.
If he plays.
Because I've created that situation. All right, my favorite in the final segment, the bold predictions, and you coupled these, back to Denver we go, these 2 guys together, Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. You said top 5 quarterback, top 5 receiver versus Dallas. How did you do?
Well, Bo Nix was quarterback 5, so we hit on that because he played the Cowboys, and that was great. Cortland Sutton got his stuff stolen by both Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant. And I think he had a touchdown called back on an OPI, which might have got him to the, where we needed him. But yeah, Cortland Sutton was wide receiver 37. That was a miss. All
right. So 1-1 there. This one, this was a rare, big whiff. Like you weren't even in the ballpark. You were playing baseball at the plate, but you were swinging like a toothpick. Yes. Drake May, you said would be outside the top 12 as a quarterback versus the vaunted Browns defense, and you could not have been more wrong.
No, he was QB1 for the week. Drake May is an MVP candidate. He's awesome. If we do this podcast for 12 more years and I ever pick against Drake May again, yell at me, please.
I played him last week. I had a choice, and I actually played him against your advice because I've seen the Cleveland defense. And Myles Garrett Myles Garrett set a Browns record. He had 5 sacks. So the Browns defense, fantasy football, did some good things. The problem is they don't have 10 other guys to go with Myles Garrett. So it's kind of hit and miss with them.
Right. And they mostly, I mean, maybe more at home, they've been good against the run. But yeah, I saw that too. Like Garrett had 5 sacks and they were like, well, how does the rest of the defense not do anything? And one guy got 5 sacks. So yeah, anyway, Drake May, awesome. Go Charlotte.
Okay. So we're back on the Drake May bandwagon. Let's see. Let's move on to this week and 3 bold predictions. I mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr. I got him up and active for my roster this week. And you say that is a good idea.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, again, we're picking on the Cowboys. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been a disappointment. He's only wide receiver 36 on the season. I think people were a little down on him in the preseason, at least compared to last year. We're going to go top 12 receiver at Dallas on Monday night.
Okay. You have Travis Hunter listed this week as one of your bold predictions. You know you only get points for offense, right? Not defense if he does something good.
Well, they are playing him more. They seem to be playing him more on offense these days. I mean, last week they were off. The week before they had the game in London, and he sort of became, I don't want to say he became the number 1 receiver, but he got featured more. he put up better numbers, Brian Thomas. But the Brian Thomas thing, I'm not sure what's wrong there, but he and Trevor Lawrence are not on the same page. But they seem to be at the point where Travis Hunter might be taking over as their number one wide receiver. They're playing him on more snaps on offense than defense. Top 12 wide receiver at Vegas. It's time that Travis Hunter breaks out a little bit.
And finally, we talked about him as being one of your sleeper pickup guys this week, and you like him so much, you have this player as a top 20 running back coming up this week.
My fellow Rutgers Scarlet Knight, Kyle Monangai from the Chicago Bears. He basically split carries last week with DeAndre Swift. Swift had a bit of a groin injury. He's been managing it for a couple of weeks, and part of me wondered if that was the reason. Part of me thinks, as I think I mentioned last week, that Ben Johnson might be sort of recreating that Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery dynamic with the Bears. But Kyle Monangai, ran inside the 5-yard line. He didn't get inside the 5-yard line last week, but he's been getting more work. He's worth starting. The Bengals have been the league worst against opposing fantasy running backs. I've got Kyle Monangai as a top 20 running back at Cincinnati.
All right. That's all we got. When we talk on Sunday, I'll be at legendary Lambeau Field. Do you want me to bring back some bratwurst or cheese curds or anything for you?
Will they keep on the plane? If so,
cheese
go
curds,
for it.
They're kind of vacuum packed. Probably not so much on the bratwurst.
Gotcha. Yeah, bring whatever you can.
All right. We'll do it. Thanks, John. We'll talk to you Sunday.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jim.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.